Let's talk about circle prospecting and the objections that you typically find. But first, let's clarify what I mean by circle prospecting and the opportunity that you have, by the way. Yes, we currently do this. In fact, Mark Rader on the team, who's also a coach with me, he got an appointment live last week while we were doing this in group coaching. So people listened in and they're like, wow, it actually works. We're like, yeah, it works if you show up consistently, right? And also know what to say. What's circle prospecting? For me, it's broken down into four things. Just listed, just sold, open house invites to a neighborhood around the home that you have the open house in. And then we have a buyer. We have a buyer, meaning you've got a buyer for a specific area. It's a real buyer, not a lie, right? We don't want to go that route. And so those are the four ones. Now, I'll give you some hacks and then we'll go over through some objections that I outlined here. I have a whole great Google Doc on objections for circle prospecting. We won't go over all of them. I believe there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13 objections. I try to pick the most, the ones that were used the most, right? And so we're going over those. But first, on just listed and just sold, I think those are probably the most opportunities you have. I was talking about this with Gus at Power ISA. This is why I actually brought it up, because he shared all of this with me and we did a whole webinar on it. So Gus has a whole ISA team and runs Power ISA, the company. If you need an ISA, definitely go with Power ISA, right? He's one of our sponsors and lab coat agents. But the thing I was talking about that he reminded me of when we were talking is you have two amazing opportunities. And these are really, it's like best kept secrets for circle prospecting. I'm not sure why people don't use it. Number one, on just listed, please do your best to make sure that you're calling on day 0. Because if I'm calling you, Joanne, hey, Joanne, it's Tristan. Listen, I'm not sure you saw, but down the street from you on 123 Brilliant Street, a property just listed for $600,000. It's only a few houses away from you. And I'm letting all the neighbors know, because I may call you again during whenever we decide to have the open house. But in the meantime, do you know anybody that, and then go through that whole process, right? And then you go through some objections. Some people will say, hey, where is it? Where was that? How far is it? What street is it? What was the price? The point is this: you're giving them information that they don't have because it's day 0. Day 0 means typically, if you do this often enough, you're going to find that sometimes there's not even a for sale sign on these, right? And if it's yours, even better, right? If it's your office's, amazing. Now, if it's someone else's listing, make sure that you don't pretend it's yours. Please don't ever take that and turn it around and say, I got a new listing. That's not the way we want to run our business, right? You can easily say, hey, there's a new listing down the street by whoever it is, right? Do that, but never take listings that aren't yours like that. Now, the other opportunity, big one, you just listed and just sold is even better on day 0, because the neighbors all want to know what that property sold for. Why? Because they won't know until it actually sells. That's the rule, right? So now I'm calling Joe. Hey, Joe, it's Tristan. And now if you've been calling a few times, they'll know who you are, right? Hey, Joe, it's Tristan. It's me again. Just letting you know that the property down the street from yours, it finally sold, and it sold for $615,000. $15,000 over the asking price. Can you believe that, right? Now this call is even more powerful. They want to know the information because it directly affects the value of their home, which means their equity, and now they may be inclined to possibly sell. This happens to us often. Please use those too. Now let's go to objections. Remember, circle prospecting for me, just as it's just sold, I have a buyer and open houses. Let me pop open my Google Doc here. I know I had it here. There it is. Common objections, circle prospect. I'm going to go through about 4 of these, and then I will leave the other 8 for you or so to look at on your own. If you need this, message me on Instagram. Please friend me so that I get the message, because sometimes I'm pretty sure there are messages in there I've never gotten, because If you don't friend me, it doesn't message me sometimes. Objection number 1. I'm not thinking about buying or selling, which we get the most. Or I'm not thinking of doing anything right now. Your response would be, yeah. And remember, these are all changeable. These are all, I want you to add your twist, your sincerity, your authenticity. Your response to, I'm not thinking of buying or selling. Totally understand. Or, oh, thank you for letting me know. Most people I talk to aren't actively looking to make a move right now. Out of curiosity, though, do you currently rent or own your home? Now, the key to this one is the curiosity piece, right? Because you're coming in from a form of asking a question because you're curious, you want to know more. And it has to do with the tonality, right? Your connection to the person that you're talking to, they probably have never talked to you. That connection happens through the tone that you're using. So for us, we want to make it as soft as possible. We want to ask more questions. Now, if they say, oh, I own a home, right? Why are you calling me? I own a home. Response, that's great. Or thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Have you ever thought about possibly upsizing or downsizing? I'm not sure where you're at in your stage of life, right? Or you can say, thank you. Have you ever thought about possibly upsizing, downsizing, or maybe even buying an investment property, right? You could do that. Maybe in the next year or two. I would say make it one or the other, right? Now, I put everything on here so it gives you a choice of what to read from. So in the response, it's pretty lengthy. I don't know that I would ask all of that. But your response is going to be, that's great. Have you ever thought about upsizing? Right? And you're looking at the home, so you know, right? The properties you're dialing on RedX. By the way, if you need a discount, let me know. I've got one. But if you're dialing on RedX, you know the address. You have the link there to the property online, so you can take a look. You can say, have you thought about downsizing? Have you thought about upsizing? Have you thought about buying a bigger home? Right? And then the thing they'll tell you is no or yes. And then it opens up a whole different form of conversation, right? The point is ask questions, shut up and listen, right? The whole episode I did on PS love. Remember that. Now, if they say I'm renting or I rent, your response, got it. Thank you, right? Or thanks. Renting can work for a season, but I'm sure at some point you've thought about owning and building equity instead of paying rent, right? And then they'll say, well, I don't know. The economy's kind of tough, tariffs, trade, all that. That's kind of crazy. Well, and then I say, well, even if it's not right now, it might be worth taking a quick look. Rates, you know how rates are, right? They go up, they go down, and you'd be surprised at what's possible. Let me know if you let me know if you think about it in the near future. But in the meantime, I'll keep on reaching out to you, just depending on what happens to this home, right? If I'm calling just this is just sold or whatever. The point is, have conversations, ask questions. That's the key, right? And then I'll do one more. An objection here. Let me see if a good one. I don't know that I hear that one as often. Oh, this is a great one. This one I do hear often. Ready? Objection. Who are you? Where are you calling me from? I get that one. Be prepared, because the softer you come back on this one, the better, right? Response. That's a great question. I'm sorry. My name is, and then I say, my name is Tristan, and I'm with Y Realty. And I've been in real estate here for 21 years. I'm just calling the neighbors to let them know. And whatever you're going to let them know, if it's just listed, let them know. Just sold, let them know. Open house, right? Let them know why. And you'd love to have them over, right? Or if you have a buyer, and then the whole buyer's like, well, then they can say, well, I don't own this home. Sorry about that. And then you can go into the whole rental thing. These are all interchangeable. As you read into them, I want you to put yourself into it, put a lot more authenticity into what you're using, be sincere. And if you need this list, message me on Instagram. I got you.